You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts. Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters. Well, here we are. The next morning after it was announced that Caitlin Clark would not be returning this season, something that I think most of us pretty much knew for maybe at least the last couple of weeks. I heavily suspected it for the last, if I'm being real, last month. Although I kept kind of holding out hope because, well, I wanted a reason to keep watching these games. And that's why the Indiana Fever has gotten dogged at as an organization, because they purposely kept dangling a carrot in front of people because they wanted them to stay engaged with the games. It seems like a conversation and a agreement that would have happened between the Fever organization and I assume Kathy Engelbert and the WNBA. We don't want to mess these ratings up now. We don't want to mess those ratings up now, do we? Let's make it look like she's going to come back. So I knew there was going to be a lot of reaction today and last night, overnight. And Amber Cox, the CEO and general manager for the Fever, has released a statement on Twitter X. And it has gotten quite the response from Caitlin Clark fans. Now, guys, if you remember, prior to the season starting, I cautioned everybody about the, quote, super team. If you remember that, I said, look, not everybody get behind this, quote, unquote, super team. We've seen the super team scenario implode in sports nearly every time that somebody has coined a team a super team. The Philadelphia Eagles back with Vince Young and Michael Vick and that whole thing. Remember, they're a super team. They imploded. And, well, look what's happened to this season with the Fever. DeWanna Bonner, gone. Tried to wreck the team on the way out the door. Natasha Howard, old and slow. Caitlin Clark's injury, Sophie Cunningham's injury. I mean, we could go down the list. So right here, they sold everybody a false dream, labeling a mediocre offseason as, quote, legendary. Then proceeded to mismanage every situation that came along this season in the worst possible way. Way to build a team around a generational superstar talent. Yeah, I mean, it's especially bad when you look at, like, the job the Golden State Valkyries coach has done and that franchise. Letting Timmy Fabinlay go, but keeping Dantas. That's sort of another glaring mistake from everybody involved. Amber Cox worked her tail off to get back, talking about Caitlin Clark. A great teammate every step of the way. The comeback will be something special. My goodness. I mean, that's we'll get to that reaction. Somebody pointed this out, and I noticed it. I've noticed it too. Stephanie White looks terrible. She looks like she's aged 10 years. Now, I know a lot of people online have seen this clip. This clip of Stephanie White twitching her nose, wondering exactly what the hell is going on. I can tell you what it can mean. I'm not going to tell you what it can mean. You can come to your own deductions yourself. Yeah. But I will say two words to you. Rick James. Miami Vice. Scarface. I mean, I'll just keep, yeah, Blow. The movie Blow. Anybody? Johnny Depp? Uh, Michael Irvin. I'm not saying, but I'm not saying it, but wow. Aging, nose twitching. Wow, that's crazy. It's crazy. So, a lot of people answered Amber Cox back. And look, that's speculation, by the way. Just speculation. I don't know. But it's worth, wow. Wow. Do you really think people can't see what you've done here? This is Indiana. For the love of God, you buffered her rise to protect the envious while pretending to love her. Clicky crabs in a bucket and gaslighting. Ideological saboteur. You know, there's a real thought process out there that the way things have been constructed, it's been to prevent Caitlin Clark from taking the next step of launching this league, which sounds ridiculous, except when you realize the entire league doesn't like her and they reluctantly don't want to grow with her. And if you think these players feel that way, what makes you think the leadership all across the league doesn't feel that way? They all have the same, quote, agendas as these players. Well, we don't relate to her and her fan base. We don't want her fan base here. Kind of wild. I mean, they want the money, but they don't want the fans. Now we know. No more Stephanie White double talk. Amber, you guys really need to take a hard look internally because this season had so much promise and then became an embarrassment. You cannot help some of the injuries, I get, but seriously, your front office handling of stuff and recruiting, yeah, it's bad. It's bad. The way you dangled her comeback, you dangled her return for months, really over a month into 2 months. You were way over your head on this. Lies, lies, and more lies. It always was a money grab. Yeah, I mean, please next time do not bring a vet to Indiana who's a scammer and a quitter and yet has the audacity to play victim. That's the Dewana Bonner action. Look, Fever, fans, Carrot. People are mad. You effing lied to fans since before the All-Star break just to keep people hanging on to hope that Caitlin would be back, knowing full well she was done for the year. You and the entire front office are effing embarrassments. Resign. I've had a theory that Stephanie White might resign this offseason. I just, again, look at this picture. She's aged a million years. I think she got here and realized, oh my God, the spotlight and the heat is much brighter than hot and hotter than I ever imagined. And I wonder if she signs up for another year of this. I wonder. That attendance money and viewership numbers, while fans still believed she'd come back, was nice too. Huh. How you guys handled this was egregious to say the least. Yeah, this organization, they should not be taking victory laps. And you do get the feeling that, and guys, I could keep going here. Go to hell, Amber. You will always be a losing GM, and you own this injury for putting a shit team around her and no protection. You need to be fired along with Kelly and White. I left some of that comment out, but you can see it. Wow. Wow. People are mad. People are angry. As well they should be. People feel duped. This front office should not feel good about itself. They have assumed that people will show up no matter what, as long as people think Caitlin Clark is involved. There is a world where people get to the point where they're like, even if Caitlin's involved, they're not going to put her in a system that is going to be fun to watch, is going to be entertaining, that's going to maximize her skill set. So I'm not going to watch our once great, legendary college and potential pro hero disintegrate. I'm out. And you lose the fans that came in. Tell me what you think. Peace them out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.